Isn't it weird that you can move your whole face?
It's bizarre. You can just like shift.
I'm just like watching my whole lower half.
Be independent from the top half of your face. Hey everybody, I'm Griff.
I'm Riot.
And we've got a great show planned for you. We're really excited about it.
I'm super excited about it. Because we're playing a game that you invented, right?
Yes. And I think you can take some credit too, you know, like a little bit.
It's called, I was there. I was in the kitchen drinking coffee.
Yeah, that's what we do. It's called Civil War. Excited to share that with you. After that, we're going to be talking about the 24 Hours of Le Mans, which is a
horse race, right?
It's a horse buggy automatic car race.
So it's a horsepower race.
Horsepower. This is true. And then what are we going to finish with?
Then we're going to, I'm going to kind of share my experiences with seeing Finding Dory in theaters this past week.
That should be
spoiler-free, of course.
Very spoiler-free.
So don't freak out.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, and this is your morning Get Up and Go. All right, so we're going to start off with Civil War here on Get Up and Go. It's a little game about a debate. It's a great debate.
The great debate.
But it's a great internal debate. So what we're going to do is we've picked topics for each other, and we will actually debate amongst ourselves. And by that, I mean I'm going to debate myself on whatever topic Riot gives me, and he's going to debate himself on whatever topic I give him.
And I'm going to win. I'm going to beat myself.
We'll see about that. So Riot's going to kick us off, and in case there's any confusion as far as who's who when this debate is going on, we've brought in these little official mustaches to help distinguish the two views. So
is this bigger than my mustache?
It's fuller. Yeah,
but it's two-dimensional though.
Yeah, so you win on that. You win on the third degree.
Cool.
So the topic that I picked for you, Mr. Riot, is very dear to your heart.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So it's not about your children. It's not about your livelihood. It's about Pokemon. And so what I want you to debate yourself with...
I love Pokemon.
I know. That's why this is going to be awesome. I went deep for the first one. This is going to be hard. Great. So I want you to talk yourself out of or debate yourself on whether you should keep following, participating in, purchasing, or playing Pokemon games, shows, whatever it is. And I want you to really try.
I would like to go ahead and use my pass.
You don't get a pass. You maybe
I'm going to need... Oh, here we go. I'm going to need some moral support. Oh, hey. Got a nice little stuffed Pikachu that's going to sit right here to give me support. You can purchase this stuffed Pikachu at PokemonCenter.com.
Oh, nice little plug
from the internets.
All right.
Oh, is Butters joining us?
He is. He heard about Pokemon.
He's looking rather dandy in his bandana.
Sure You're a little Boy Scout over here.
Okay,
you have the floor.
I'm going to pretend that the camera, you, the audience, are whoever good Jonathan or bad Jonathan is speaking to.
Well, it's not necessarily bad yet. We haven't decided.
If I'm trying to convince myself to not play Pokemon, that is bad.
Okay. Butters.
All right.
Crawling across there.
So Riot, I have something I'd like to discuss with you. Oh, cool. I love discussions. What would you like to discuss? First of all, let me get this cattail out of my face. I would like to bring something to your... Oh, no. I would like to bring something to you. We love animals. He was a little bottom heavy. I wasn't expecting it.
You're right, buddy. Jeez. He's okay.
Cats always land on their feet. Anyway, so it's come to my attention that you have that you've been playing Pokemon for upwards of 20 years. Wow. And you're a 30-year-old man, and I just don't think that's very responsible of you. I don't think it leaves a good impression for, you know, your colleagues, your children, the general public. So I think you should stop doing that and maybe pick up a hobby that's a little more adult, like laundry or knitting.
Good call.
Oh, well, I figured somebody would speak to me about this eventually, because yes, I am 30. Yes, I've been playing Pokemon for 20 years. I was 10 when they came out, for those that are mathematically challenged, when Red and Blue, the first Game Boy games, came out. And I just played the pants off of those games.
No pants left.
I wore my pants most of the time while I was playing them, but I just got so into them. I loved the world. I loved the collecting the Pokemon. I loved that they fostered a relationship between the player and the Pokemon as you trained them and had them battle and all that. And it was super enjoyable. Right. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have played it as an 8-year-old. I'm saying you shouldn't play it as a 30-year-old. Well, it's not like I'm I mean, they've kept on coming out with new games, and they introduce new mechanics for you to play. And do they introduce adult mechanics? No, it's it's not like any of the games get harder or anything, but I still really enjoy playing them, and I like watching the anime with my daughters. I like forcing them to watch the anime with me, and
captive audience,
and it's just a wholesome and good culture to be a part of. Well, there's all kinds of other things you could be doing, like spending your money on charities or toys for your children, or taking that time that you'd be playing Pokemon by volunteering, doing other things. There's just better uses of your time. Okay, I understand that. There's always something better you could be doing, but I think part of, living this life is also, we need to be doing things that give us joy. And, while yes, my family gives me joy, sometimes working gives me joy, this guy gives me joy. There's enough time in a day to spend some time playing some Pokemon, buying a plush, watching the TV show. Yeah, it can take like 2 minutes. PokemonCenter.com has my credit card information stored. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because it's
across the bottom of this
because it's it's something that brings a lot of people happiness, and it's wholesome. In a world where a lot of things are not wholesome, I think it's important to really just grab onto those things that are, and there's nothing bad in it, and there's nothing dirty in it. It's a good, wholesome thing, and okay, I get that it's wholesome, but so is the kids show Caillou. I just don't see what value it could have to adults. All right, which brings me to the metagame. So after you complete the games, you can battle competitively online. Kids can't do that. Little kids don't know about breeding specific traits into their Pokemons and making sure that they have the correct typing advantage and all that. It's difficult for younger kids to be able to do that. There's some strategies that only an adult like myself could come up with.
Quick question: are Pokemon slaves?
No, they're some people treat them as such, but I treat my Pokemon with an aura of friendship.
Oh, okay. Just want to clarify.
And so they enjoy that. And we've won championships together, made up championships. But it's, little kids can't throw out a combo of Pachirisu and Gyarados.
It's all right. This is,
Well, it seems like this is something you're passionate about. And I think as long as you're not shirking any of your responsibilities with your job or your family, I guess it couldn't hurt. Dang right it couldn't hurt. It can only help. Because it's Pokemon, and they're here to help.
And that concludes this debate. How do you
I think I should keep playing Pokemon. I think I won.
I think you did a good job. I think both of you did a great job.
I feel like he brought up some fair points. The mustachioed... Oh, man, dang it, we're both mustached.
I know, right? It's hard to...
I don't know. I love arguing. I don't like arguing with myself. I feel like it gets me worked up. And I also feel like that, I don't know, maybe there's some points that the person that's against Pokemon brought up that, maybe kind of something that's inside me, everybody kind of cares what people think a little bit, even if you say you don't.
Right.
And so,
those people care the most.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a part of that I'm kind of, scared of somebody actually saying to me.
Right.
Jonathan, what are you doing there on a Saturday morning watching the brand new episode of Pokemon X and Y? Well, I'm watching Team Flare try to get, one of this piece of Zygarde, and I'm watching the gang stop them. That's fine.
Yeah, all that stuff. All right. What topic have you selected for me, Mr. Riot?
All right, Griff, you are going to debate with yourself. Part of you is adamant that you should completely shave, go clean shaven.
Now, is this top of the head too, or is this just facial hair?
All of your head. Your whole head.
My whole head?
Your whole head.
Okay, well, that really changes. That's quite a step up.
Yep.
Okay.
So whole head. And then the other part of you does not want to do that.
Okay.
And I'd say I'd agree with the part of you that doesn't shave.
Okay. All right. All right, let's kick this off.
I'm going to drink my coffee and I'm going to enjoy this.
Okay. I'm going to take it one step further, and I'm going to talk in an accent.
Ooh.
Yes.
Nice.
I will talk very properly because I have a curly mustache. Okay.
Let's see if you can hold character.
Okay. Hello, good day, Sir Griff. Hey, how's it going? I have come to approach you about a topic that I think you will want to hear about. Oh, what's the topic? What are we talking about? It has come to my attention that you have far too much hair, and I would like for you to remove it in its entirety. Okay, so are we talking about... Because I know what he said, but I want to make sure that this is what you think. You want me to shave all of this and this too. Precisely. Okay. Well, you have a mustache. Are you going to be shaving your mustache? Well, no. Okay, well then you're a hypocrite, and so I'm not doing it. I see your point. Yeah, now get out of here, you hypocrite.
I think you just set a new record.
Yep.
For debate time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the guy set himself up for failure,
You really showed that guy who's boss.
Yeah, you can't go around, throwing rocks when you live in a glass house,
Did you call him a hippogriff? Like the animal from Harry Potter?
That's me. I'm Griff, and I'm a hypocrite. So I'm a hippogriff. That's already a Pokemon?
It's not a Pokemon. It's in, I forgot. This man has not seen all the Harry Potter movies. He's actually in a series of unfortunate events.
I've seen 3 now.
Watched the last 2 at my
I watched the first
house.
2, and I saw the very last one.
Yeah.
Or the very last 2.
The very last 2.
So how many have I missed now? 8?
So yeah, you've missed 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. You've missed 6. So anyway, in 3,
They're
the
long.
Prisoner of Azkaban, there's a creature involved called Hippogriff, and he actually looks like a griffin, but doesn't have like the long lion tail. He looks more bird than lion. He doesn't have like the body of a lion. It's more of like a horse mixed with a bird, kind of.
So he's siding more with one side than the other.
Yeah, he's cool looking. I'll show you a picture of him. But you would think with the name Hippogriff, it would be half griffin, half hippo.
Right,
And
unless
that is
it's
not at all.
hippocampus, or he's a hypocrite. It could be many of these things.
It could. Let's see. He's pretty dang cool looking.
Pretty cool, you know what I mean?
Look at him.
Okay, all right. I feel like I've seen him. Does he speak?
No.
Oh.
Well, he says he speaks in his own language, I guess.
Which is like...
Yeah. His name is Buckbeak.
Buckbeak. That's kind of
Buckbeak.
a descriptive...
Say that 3 times fast.
No. Decline on that. That concludes our first game of Civil War. And we're going to be thinking about more topics that are even more challenging emotionally, and challenging ourselves as far as what we believe is the foundation of our lives.
And if you think of any topics, feel free
yeah.
to throw them in the comments and suggest that we do them.
We're going to be super receptive.
We will take any idea you give us and choose whether or not we will do it.
You know what we forgot to do? Mailbox.
Oh yeah. Let me get into the mailbox.
Every once in a while, huh?
Because we even have anything in the actual mailbox.
It's digital mailbox. It doesn't. I don't know. Do you get your emails in your mailbox too? We check our comments. We do. There's so many of them. One particular video had one in particular that was very good, and it may have also been the only comment. But
out of all the one comment, it was the best.
It was also an amazing comment.
It was a great comment,
and it came from user Wes Johnson.
This is from episode 1 of Get Up and Go.
And this is when we reviewed our candies.
And if you've watched that episode, which you may have not, and that's fine,
please go check it out. I think you'll enjoy it.
We have a snack off where we have some gummy candies that we compare.
Snack off.
And I had Sour Patch Exploders. He had
the Trolley
Exploders, Exploder Cubes or something.
Cubes.
I don't know.
Oh, exploding cubes.
And
because you said,
and we each voted for our own. We each voted for our own candy, and so we recommended that people sound off in the comments to maybe settle the debate.
Right.
And man, it was settled. This
super duper.
This guy, Wes Johnson. He does not have a profile picture.
No, that's him. He's a purple.
He's a purple guy with no neck.
His head is hovering above his body.
He did more of a review on this stuff than we did, actually.
I think he outdid us, actually.
So I'm going to go ahead and read his comment out loud because it's that great. Wes Johnson said, 15 minutes and 2 empty bags of gummies later, I have concluded
that's fast.
That although Sour Patch Kids will forever be my favorite candy, the better candy of the 2 here is Trolley Blasts.
Wait, what was that?
The better candy of the 2 is Trolley
Blast. What?
And he has several reasons.
Oh, baby, when you talk like that.
All right.
Oh, look, Butters even came to rub it in.
Because you were singing Shakira. All right, so 1, they're much less sticky, don't clump up, and you don't have leftover juice on your fingers.
See, that's like a cat litter commercial right there.
This makes them easier to eat on the go without making a mess. 2, as Riot mentioned, the pastelity, which I invented that word.
Yes.
Take notes.
Did you?
I did. I've
looked it up?
never heard that. No, I didn't look it up. I don't have to. I invented it.
Take credit.
The pastelity is easily seen and tasted. The look of the trolley candy is not only aesthetically pleasing, but tasty too. 3. Trolley sticks true to its roots. And this is an interesting point, I think. When tasting the blasts, there is a hint of the good old trolley gummy worm that is left behind in your mouth.
Yes.
With the Exploders, Sour Patch tried to go too far out of its abilities, and I couldn't even tell it was their candy.
It was very separated.
And that's a fair point.
It was a different entity entirely.
Yeah. 4, lastly, the trolley blasts simply have more candy in each bag. There are about 55 pieces in each bag, 7 ounces, 198 grams, whereas the Sour Patch Kids only have around 40 pieces, 6.5 ounces, 184 grams.
And I believe when we purchased them, they were about the same price.
Yep.
Somewhere around about $1.50.
Yeah, so you're getting more for your money
value.
with the trolley. Sad to say, but Sour Patch loses this one. So there it was.
Yes!
I must concede.
Yes!
To your trolleyness. But yeah, so thank you for that extensive, extensive comparison there.
Some great writing, and
it seemed like he probably does that for a living.
Yeah,
like it was,
or if you don't do that for a living, you should.
Maybe he's a candy reviewer.
Yeah.
So, but cool. Yeah. So that was our inbox. Feel free to continue to comment on our stuff. If it's something particularly great or amusing or just extra stupid, you may see it read out on our next show.
This is true. Well, that brings us to something
topic.
very dear to my heart, and which actually happened this last weekend, the annual running of the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
Le Mans.
Or
that sounds like a fancy word.
Le Mans, as some people say.
Le Mans.
So it's French.
Does it take place in France?
Yeah, it takes place in Le Sarthe.
Okay.
And they have a track that's composed of actual real roads, meaning when the race is not going on, cars do drive on it, and then some segments that have been added on for the race.
Okay.
And it is the longest running race, I believe, in history.
As in, like, from when from its first conception
right.
to here, or the longest, like, time-wise that they're racing?
It could be both. Well, it just depends. No, I mean, because like a NASCAR race is longer than it, but that's because they're driving in an oval and they can maintain speed longer. But he's gonna take the mic off the table, aren't you, little buddy? So the race first started in 1923. They took a break for the Great Depression and World War II, which seems like pretty legitimate reasons to take a break from anything.
Can't argue with that at all.
Hey, you guys should have kept doing it. And it's an international race, so the people who compete are from all over the world.
Right.
And what I like about it is that not only do you have, teams that are backed by factories, Jaguar might put together a team, Mercedes, Lotus, but teams that are private, so people who, individuals who have the money and want to build a car, they can actually compete in the race. And
nice.
There's been overall wins before by people who were privateers. There was a guy one year, he built a car in his backyard in London, like in a shed, and it won. It won overall. He beat all the big dogs.
Wow.
So some great cases of underdog races there. So, but it ran this last week, and it was a very historical moment because back in the 60s, Ferrari was dominating. Ferraris always had really good race programs, and Le Mans, or the World Endurance Championship, is no exception. And they were kicking butt, and so Ford decided to put together a car called the GT40. Now there was some politics going on. It wasn't just about winning. There was some acquisition going on. There was some business debates. I think that Ford actually wanted to acquire Ferrari. Ferrari kind of stuck their nose up at him and made some.
Could they have afforded to do that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, and they made some responses that were less than gentlemen, and so Ford was like, you know what, we're going to take you on, and we're going to hit you on your own playground, right? We're going to come out there and throw some sand in your face, and that was the Ford GT MK2 in 1966. Ford put in 3 cars, and they won 1, 2, 3. They had the first 3 positions.
They were all the same car.
Yeah. So a team can field multiple cars, and theirs were the top 3. So it's very
like Ricky Bobby and Cal Norton Jr.
Yeah, and then their ghost
race together,
and then their baby. Yeah. And it's just interesting to see these races because these cars are, by today's standards, they're crude. But they'll get up to there's a back straight where they'll get over 200 miles an hour, sometimes reaching up to 240 miles an hour. And they actually had to create some turns in the straightaway because it was getting so ridiculous.
To keep them from going that fast.
Yeah, they were going so fast. And but the races, for the most part, stayed the same. There's some things that have changed also, like the the drivers used to start, man, there's all this cat hair just floating in my face.
I don't know where it came from.
Gosh,
it's weird.
bears. What the frick? But they used to actually start outside of their cars, and they would all line up, and then they would run, jump in the car, start them, and then take off.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's just an old school gentleman way of starting a race.
Does they still do that?
No, they don't do that anymore, which is really too bad. But if you see how long it takes to get into some of these cars, and now they have 3 drivers per car, and no racer can drive for more than 14 hours, I think. But it's a 20...
So they rotate in the car while it's moving?
No, they'll pull in, they'll refuel, change tires, make repairs. And sometimes, man, they have so much time, it's 24 hours, that there's been people who have had to stop, replace an entire transmission in the car, get back in, and they're still able to win the race.
Wow.
Because there's so much time that you can make up in a 24-hour race. So they usually start on 3 p.m. on Saturday, and they go till 3 p.m. on Sunday. I think the times have kind of changed over the years, too. But it's an amazing race, and Ford came back with a new Ford GT, and they won this year, and they beat Ferrari again.
And that's the cover car from Forza Motorsport 6,
it's a
right?
super cool car.
Yep.
High powered. It's going to be $400,000, and they're making a very small amount. I can't remember.
It's not available for consumers yet.
They're all spoken for. They've already all sold out, and it was such a big submission rate that Ford was kind of talking about how silly some of the requests were. People made videos and offered their children in exchange for the cars.
Because maybe not everybody that wanted one was able to secure one.
Oh, no, yeah. That's usually, usually you have to have your foot in the door before you even know what you're going to get. Some people will buy these cars or put down money before it's even available. They'll say, all right, that's my deposit for this car. Imagine doing that,
Not knowing what it's even going to be.
The next time you buy a car, don't even look at it, and it's a car not even out yet, and just put all your money down. But so that's a high point in the race. But this race is certainly not without its low points. For instance, one year, typically somewhere between 50 and 60 cars compete, and they're from different classes. So there's the top tier class, the prototypes. Then there's a class below that. They're also considered kind of prototypes. And then there's cars that are cars you might see on the road, like a Dodge Viper or a Porsche 911. Obviously, they're race spec, but it's cool to see the different manufacturers.
Chevy Malibu.
Yeah, Toyota Prius. Yep. And typically the top tier cars win. But one year, 50 cars entered and only 7 finished the race. So that's how grueling it is on the cars. Because I think statistically they run at full throttle for about 85% of the race. So wide open, foot all the way to the ground.
So that's not good for the engine.
I mean, I know that's how you drive, but and then another notably low, it actually owns not just the longest standing race, automobile race, but it also has the biggest tragedy in motor racing history. And that was in 1955. 2 cars collided near the stands. And one of the cars was launched into the air. It broke into 3 pieces, and it killed. I think the total death count is up to 130 people. It killed 130 people in one event, one crash, because the car broke apart and basically became shrapnel. And I just want to put a disclaimer on here. If you decide to go and look up more about this race, just be aware that there is footage of the crash, and it's very graphic, and it does depict, people being injured. I do not recommend watching it. But the WEC World Endurance Championship and 24-hour racing is fascinating, and it's something I love. So it was great to see that race again. It was really cool to see America pull a victory over Ferrari. Yeah, America. Yeah. So that's a little bit of history for you, a little bit of facts.
That's cool.
Most people are probably like, but I love cars, and I'm on occasion going to speak of them. So take that.
Put that in your smipe and poke it. No, that's super interesting. Yeah. That's yeah. You should look up some stuff about it, and you should also play some car video games.
But not that part.
Play some car video games. We like to do
play some car video games, like Forza Horizon 3. So, yeah.
Cool.
Well, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna finish with Riot's thoughts on Finding Dory.
And boy, do I have them.
He has some thoughts.
I do.
Some curious thoughts. So we'll be right back.
Ordinary. Here in the cockpit, bucket seats, sporty steering wheel, 5-dial instrument cluster are standard. With Mustang options like front disc brakes, a stereosonic tape player, 289 cubic inch Cobra V8. Fred soared to new heights into the wild blue yonder of adventure.
This next part that we're going to talk about can get a little emotional, so we highly recommend that you be holding a cat.
Or a puppy.
Or a puppy, just something soft, squishy.
Or a little baby.
Cute, and that'll just really help you cope with the upcoming discussion about Pixar's Finding Dory. Mm-hmm. So I went and saw this a few days ago. It'll be about a week ago for when you guys are actually watching this. Hey, this is a good story.
It's not a scary movie. Oh, he's not having it either. All right. I release you.
Well, now we're just going to be sad when we talk about it. And all the cat hair.
I know, right? It's like a whirlwind of cat hair.
So, I'm a big fan of Finding Nemo, and that came out 10 years ago.
Right.
So it's been 10 years for a sequel.
That's crazy.
And it's something the public's been just really wanting.
Chopping at the bit for.
Yeah. Foaming at the mouth about these fishes.
Rabies.
So I went with my wife and daughters and my sister and brother-in-law. Brother-in-law he didn't seem too keen on seeing it.
Oh.
Because of being a kids movie.
But maybe his tune.
He's a tough cop. And but man, he was just smiling throughout that whole movie. Except for the first 3 minutes, where Pixar breaks its record of making you feel emotional. They take the first 3 minutes of Finding Dory and make you cry.
They make you
like a baby.
Yeah, they come up and they do that glaucoma test where they shoot air into your eye and you're like,
oh, that's the worst. That is the worst.
Cry.
So my wife is super pregnant right now, so I was expecting tears from her,
right?
Because she can cry at a pillow commercial, and so, but I wasn't expecting them to come from me. It was just, and I don't want to give anything away, but everybody that's seen Finding Nemo, and if you haven't, it's been 10 years, so.
We're not really spoiling anything.
Right, because you should have seen it.
I still know how Star Wars ends.
Yeah.
The old ones, New Hope, and the original trilogy. Good.
But Dory,
the other one we don't speak
Dory,
of.
she's a blue tang fish, and
Blue Tang?
Blue Tang clan. She's part of the Blue Tang clan.
I just think of like Tang, the orange drink
with the orangutan.
With the orangutans.
Yep.
That guy.
Wow, that's pretty. Have you practiced that before?
Maybe. Every morning I'm like, you're gonna get it. You're gonna do that thing.
You're gonna do the monkey noises.
And then I go out and I do whatever I was gonna do.
I feel like it creeps me out a little bit.
Oh. Note to self.
So Dory, she suffers from short-term memory loss, as we see in the first film, and in the beginning minutes of Finding Dory, they show her as a little baby fish.
Aww. What do you call a baby fish?
A guppy? I don't know.
Guppy.
A little guppy.
A little minnow.
And she of course, you see that she didn't sustain some sort of injury, and then was recently having this issue of short-term memory loss. It shows her having it as a little kid.
Oh.
And man, it was very sad to see, but it was but they handled it so well. And this isn't spoiling anything, but they're they really treat it as a
can't just knock something over.
As a mental disability. And in this movie about some fish in the ocean, they really tackle the hard issues of how that affects the person with the mental disability, and then how it affects the people around them.
Wow.
And how how that needs to be handled.
Yeah.
And it's
good on Pixar for
really good.
They always have some sort of underlying message that's very positive, but also makes you not just a positive message, but a message that makes you address an issue or something about society. I think Zootopia did kind of the same thing. They addressed some issues with,
which I was just Disney,
right? But Disney owns Pixar now, so just call them.
So totally different people made it,
right? Fair enough. But cartoons, wow.
Yep, 3D cartoons,
3D.
But yeah, it's because it's Pixar, like you said, they're not just talking about issues that have a positive message, but they're tackling hard issues.
Sure to be nice to everybody.
But they're tackling hard issues that a lot of people don't want to talk about.
Right.
Like Inside Out. Oh. A young girl battling with depression. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not something
and then how that pairs with emotional development. I love the end of that where they're like, oh, what's that button? Oh, it's the puberty button. Yep. Which only compounds the issue, but people don't. People just want to either medicate or but there's not like an addressing of
Yeah.
what's really going on in someone's mind.
And I liked how it showed the parents really pulling her in and not saying like, "Oh, we need to fix you. What's wrong with you?" You know, when she came back, she was welcomed back.
Yeah.
And I love that scene of them just all on the kitchen floor.
Hmm.
Ugh, it's gonna get me teared up again just thinking about it.
I can't see you cry.
as
Don't
a-
cry. I'm thinking about.
But it's good. Definitely go see Finding Dory. Go support it. It's a great film.
Recommendation.
Don't buy a blue tang. I saw an article recommending do not buy that fish that Dory is a blue tang because they're very hard to take care of. They're very sensitive to different changes. And apparently when Finding Nemo came out, a lot of people ran out and bought blue tangs.
And they all died.
And a lot of blue tangs died.
Wow.
It was Blue Tang Clan genocide.
But seriously, just because it's a fish,
Just buy goldfish.
yeah.
Or get a cat. It's better.
Yeah, because if you neglect them, that's way better.
They're easier to take care of. They're quite aloof.
Well, just smack the TV.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching our show.
Hope you enjoyed, and we hope that this will make you consider liking and subscribing. It helps us keep doing what we're doing. And there's also some other things that we're doing besides Get Up and Go, like our Vicarious Gaming channel. Vicarious is, you get a chance to live out your desire to game and maybe see games, but through us.
Yeah,
and we're
you don't have
pretty
to spend the
bad,
money on it,
right?
You don't have to hold a controller.
Yeah, which is like really straining.
Which
on
who
your
likes
wrist.
doing that? That's like the worst part of gaming.
Yeah, I want one of those games where you just plug me up like to the Matrix, and I don't have to do anything.
Sword Art Online.
Right. Yeah. So check us out. We're gonna be posting a video shortly of us playing The Crew, where the adventures of Trey and Chaz.
Trey and Chaz.
As they go deep undercover.
Two bros broing out on the open road in their bro cars.
A lot of bro talk.
One last ride.
One last ride. Again. Again.
For family.
For family. For love. For death. So, but thank you. And
good night.
see you later.